Good afternoon, everybody. On this Hump Day Wednesday, March 26, 2025, I've got all of your stories for your rush hour drive home. We made it. We made it through the middle of the week. It's all downhill from here. Congratulations, everybody. On this episode, we'll be discussing Juliana, winner of Bachelor, what she has to say following the outing of their relationship as they do media rounds. Also, pop star extraordinaire Chapel Roan goes on Call Her Daddy, the biggest female-based podcast out there, and discusses some good dating advice. So we'll enjoy that. And also 23andMe is closing. Do you want to give them your DNA or not? What you can do to try to expunge the DNA strands from their database. Also, speaking of DNA, Justin Baldoni's health has taken quite a hit this year following his ongoing lawsuit with Blake Lively. And an insider is now sharing just exactly the kind of toll it took on him. Also, Congress is floating ideas about how to fire judges, which is not a good idea, but I'll share the words out of their mouths. And speaking of which, Donald Trump responds to the crazy fiasco known as Group Chat Gate, that being the group chat that was planning an attack on terrorists that accidentally included a journalist. Well, let's see who he blames and if anyone's going to get fired. So we'll have that ongoing story. A lot to get into, all this and more. It's all happening right now on The Rush. Well, Juliana won The Bachelor, but she made the wise choice to decide not to watch the finale. Yeah, why would you want to watch that? You're going to watch a guy barely make the right decision, right? He was about to propose to Latia. You don't need to know that. And I'm sure Grant said, you know what, honey? Let's go out to dinner tonight and not watch. Here's what she had to say.
It had to be hard to watch last night.
I didn't watch last night. We talked about it. Right. I think it was the best decision for the both of us. From what I've heard, he handled himself very well, and yeah.
Can I ask, what was your reaction to Latia saying that Grant told her and her mom that she was the one as early as week 2?
She has every right to take whatever Grant says and process it in her own way. Her perception is her reality. Yeah. She has every right to feel validated in whatever she wants to.
Did you feel like you got the closure you wanted, Grant? Is there anything else you wish you could have said to Latia last night?
No, honestly, no. I think that everything that I said was needed to be said. There's not many words that you could say. Yeah. Just kind of have to let her feel how she felt.
Totally.
Say what she had to say, and you just gotta accept it because, I know my reality and I know what happened, and that's okay. I'm fine with it.
There it is. I know we heard part of this clip before, but just to reiterate, he's fine with it. Yeah, you got to take the high road. You can't just get into those fights because, you won, you got your lady, and go on. Now, he's got to go back to Houston where he's got a home. She wants them to get an apartment in Boston. So they'll be doing long distance, I guess, until they're not. We'll see how it all plays out. Boston's great, just not in the winter and not in this super hot, humid summer. But it's a nice town. Good happy hours there. All right, Chapel Roan went on Call Her Daddy, the female Joe Rogan. I say that in jest. It's completely different, but it is the biggest podcast out there by a female host, right? And anyhow, she talks about being in a serious relationship, but she actually offers some good advice to everyone out there, which is learn to be single. Have a listen.
Couple? How long?
6 months.
Is it casual?
No.
Serious?
It's serious. It's serious.
How does that
I'm
make you
very
feel?
in love. But I am pro-single. Everyone should be single. I'm serious. Be single. Stop dating. Be single. Have a great time alone. Find out for yourself if you can 100% be okay alone before you date. That's what I found out. I had a great time when I was single. And I know that I will be okay. And now I have an awesome time that I'm with someone.
How did you meet?
There it is. And, she talks about meeting her partner through friends and actually meeting her partner before she got all of her fame. Even on Chapel Roan, she's about as big as a pop star as you can get right now. She's part of that Pink Pony Club, which I think I'm a member. I'm a member of the Pink Pony Club. Why? Who wouldn't want to be a member of the Pink Pony Club? It's a great club. And it's very inclusive. Anyone can be a part of it. There's no gatekeeping in the Pink Pony Club. So either way, I think it's great. I always say relationships should be dessert, not the main course. Of course, we've all got our level of codependency, counterdependency, secure attachment, anxious attachment. We're all messed up. Thanks, parents, but everyone tried their best, right? And I think when you strip it all down, the best elimination diet for mental health is to find out how you are as a single person. Learn to love yourself in that way. It's almost like an experiment, right? If a relationship is an experiment, how do we act together? You got to know how you act alone first. Now, sometimes when you live alone, you enable some of your worst tendencies, like get the kitchen sink clean. You know what I mean? Just stacking things left and right. But you learn a lot about yourself. So looks like she's got it going on. But here we have Chapel Roan discussing the challenges of being famous, which this is always interesting to me because it's very hard for people to have grace for celebrity. They go, oh, must be so hard with the millions of dollars. But you have to remember, that money goes, that money, you get the money and then you go, okay, well, now what next? And when you lose your privacy and lose the ability to walk through the airport, I mean, really think about it. Go to Starbucks and just enjoy being, not famous. Go walk through the airport. Those are nice things. Chapel Roan doesn't get that. That's a product of her celebrity. Have a listen.
I resent not being able to be a friendly neighbor because I can't go out and meet my neighbors and be like, hi, I'm Kaylee. I live here. This is what my car looks like. This is what time I'm home and when I'm not. It's just a recipe for a stalker. There's just so much you don't know that you're signing up for. You don't know that you're signing up that your body changes. Yeah. It is like going through puberty. And that's what I was told. I didn't really know if that was true, but the pop girls were like, it feels like a second puberty.
What's interesting with Kaylee, who goes by Chapel Roan, is she does wear a lot of makeup. She's very, I don't know if boudoir is the right term, burlesque with the way she presents herself as a famous person. So when she's kind of stripped down from all of that, she can sort of fly under the radar a little bit. But I just saw this clip of Justin Bieber, and there's this moment where someone's like, "Oh, Justin," and he was like, "Hey, keep it down," because he knows the second somebody starts yelling at him, then someone else looks, and everywhere you go can just become a disaster. Then you're forced to, your whole world becomes an escape plan for, because you can never live up to what everybody wants from you. Everyone's taking away like the giving tree. You're left to be just a stump of your former self. Well, here we have a big data breach issue. Jeffrey Fowler discusses 23andMe. He says, delete your data before it's too late. And a lot of people say, well, what's the big deal if some company has your DNA? Well, here's your answer.
But I'm not sure why I'm panicked and what information is it that compromises everybody.
Your DNA is something you're stuck with for the rest of your life. It's not like a password that you can change. And so you need to protect it. So my advice to you and to everybody else out there, whoever did 23andMe, is go in and tell them to delete it now.
I get it. They got my DNA. I mean, it's not like my social security number. So what are they going to do with that information of knowing my DNA and my ancestry that would cause me to lose sleep?
I would argue it's worse than getting your social security number because your DNA is already here in 2025 the key to so much about who you are as a person. So first of all, it contains information about your ancestry. It contains information about your family tree. Famously, it can be used to determine what are called non-paternity events within a family lineage when somebody claims they're a dad and maybe they're not biologically really. But even more scary, I think, for all of us is that it contains clues about your health, your likelihood to have certain conditions, certain kinds of diseases. And you know who would like to have that information? Insurance companies.
Oh, boy. That's how they're going to get you. The insurance companies, they're going to get your DNA and they're going to say, well, we don't have to pay out this claim because your great-granddad sniffed a bunch of lead paint or something.
And then maybe they could use that to figure out how to charge people different amounts based on their DNA.
Or deny them coverage.
Yeah. So, I mean, but here's what really scares me is that's all that we can sort of imagine here in 2025. But imagine 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when the science has advanced further.
Yeah, imagine that. You know, I used to work for this company, or I didn't work for this company, but there was this company that would go to bars and they would offer you like free things if you signed up for something. But they were asking you if you smoke or not. And I don't know what the whole, I don't even know what the racket was. But the people that said that they did smoke, it would then be used against you in the future if you were trying to get some health or life insurance. I don't know. I'm just saying it's always better to give people less information if you're allowed to, right? So hold on to that DNA strand of yours. Unless you can clone me. If someone could clone me, then I could just have a version of me that podcasts, and then the other version of me could just go live a happy life. That would be nice because I'm getting kind of busy over here. Okay, let's do this. Coming up next, we're going to cover Allie, formerly from Vanderpump. News alert, she's got a podcast. Okay, as you know, Allie broke up with James Kennedy following his arrest for domestic violence. He was never charged with any crimes. Now, and again, Vanderpump hasn't been canceled, just the cast has been replaced. And by the way, I've got Vanderpump Robs coming on the show. I've already interviewed him. I'll have that up later this week. A great conversation we had about the ins and outs of covering reality TV. But now we have Allie Luber doing an astrology-based podcast. Now, I have no desire to watch or listen to an astrology-based podcast, but that's probably because I'm a Taurus, right? And you know us Taurus, we do not believe in astrology. Have a listen.
First, thank you all so much for all of your support and love that you guys have shown me over the past few months. I'm sure many of you know James and I have broken up, and it was difficult, very public. I recognize now that that was a toxic relationship.
Yikes.
And I'm grateful for being on the other side of it. And I'm grateful for all.
What's that? Dating a reality star DJ was toxic? Oh boy. I'm surprised you didn't see that in the stars.
All of your love and comments and DMs and all of the support that you guys have shown me. It's actually been so encouraging and helpful, truly. And I have a great support system around me here in LA. So I'm grateful for my friends, for my mom. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that I'm good. I'm great. I have a new place and I've been enjoying decorating it. And I also am most importantly excited to share with you guys something that I've been working on. I am launching my brand new Open Mind original video series, Starstruck, on April 2nd. And it is something I've been working on since last year. We actually filmed our very first episode the night before Kathy Hilton's iconic Christmas party.
And of course, that's the night where James Kennedy got in a fight with Allie and had the cops called on him for domestic violence, which again, he was never charged. They said that didn't actually happen. Only she and James Kennedy know the truth on that one. But I tell you what, if you want to get some boost to your podcast, talk about it.
So I'm so excited to finally be able to share it with you guys and to step into this new era where I can focus on astrology and my passion and no more DJs and reality TV.
Oh, that's so funny. No, look, and to be quite honest, I'm ribbing astrology. Good for her. You know, I always say, like, do what it makes you happy. You want to talk about astrology, whatever, go for it. And also, by all means, I don't encourage her to talk about her issues with James Kennedy if she's uncomfortable about them. But you know how it is. Over time, you kind of get sort of desensitized, your POV changes, and then you feel like you can roast an ex. So if she ever wants to roast an ex, we'll be here to cover it. All right. Well, here we've got, and again, the king of pop-up ads is Daily Mail. I mean, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, let me tell you right now, there is 17 different pop-up ads going on. There's banners. This is like the equivalent of just like a farmhouse full of chickens running around like crazy. It's very hard. This is very hard for the ADHD mind, but they've got the tea, so we're going to sift through it. Heartbreaking truth behind Justin Baldoni's dramatic new look amid Blake Lively lawsuit. Hey, this is the world we live in, right? There isn't much news in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni world, but Justin Baldoni got a haircut. Fire up the breaking news machine. We got a haircut here. No, but seriously, let's see what the sources are saying. Justin Baldoni's motivations for his dramatic image overhaul have been laid bare after his physical and mental well-being were severely impacted by his ongoing legal feud. All right, well, let's get into... So he's still in Hawaii. He's been in Hawaii for a few months now. Good for him. And, you got a haircut. That's what you do. You ever go through a breakup or some toxic situation? They say that the memories you can hold on to in the strands, and so it's your DNA. So get a good exfoliating scrub, take a nice deep shower, and lop that hair off. Get bangs. Even, that's how you know you've been through something tough, when you just get bangs. Right, folks? I know, I'm listening. There's some people out there with bangs right now saying, yep, that's right. I just left my guy. I left my guy, I got bangs, and now I'm banging other guys. That's how it works. Leave your guy, get bangs, then bang other guys. That's how you get over it. Anyhow, Justin's... Weird day, weird episode. Justin's physical and mental well-being was severely impacted by this, an insider told Daily Mail. Now, could they be pulling these quotes out of their ass? Absolutely. It is extremely disturbing for him to look at photos of himself from last summer when all of this was going on. So there he is. He looks thriving. He looks like his blood is throbbing through his veins. I don't know how else to put it. He looks viscous, not viscous, vacillus. I think that's the term. Someone let me know. Doctors, please. So this is where he was. Of course, this is from the premiere of his movie, where he was wearing a nice floral brooch there. But the premiere of his movie, where he was had to go down to the basement, he couldn't join the rest of his cast and all of that, and ended up getting hospitalized with a spinal infection. Now, you might say, how does that have to do with anything? Well, your immune system, when you're going through trauma, your immune system, the cortisol, the stress you feel can just attack the body. So I don't doubt it. Absolutely, he must have been in so much pain. I bet you one of the best days he felt was when he returned a lawsuit to Blake Lively. He gets the New York Times article, and that's probably the low. It's like it can't get any worse. But now the public knows. I'm sure there was a sense of relief even, because the second he shared his response, the internet has been by his side, really. They noted that the 5 feet apart director hadn't realized the impact the situation was having until he looked back at images. He spent endless hours on this project, and for it to end this way really caused him a great deal of pain. He lost weight, struggled with poor eating and sleeping habits, and became severely depressed, constantly having to defend himself against false accusations. Losing his jobs and watching his career fall apart pushed him into a very dark place. Though his legal woes are far from over, the source said having his side of the story out in the open offered him a slither of hope. Things began to take a turn when the truth started to come to light. In response, Justin decided to leave LA and take his family to Hawaii for an extended stay. Being there, he has reconnected with his true self and is now in physical, mental, and spiritual harmony. I mean, honestly, wouldn't it be nice for all of us if we had the money to just go to Hawaii when some shit hit the fan? Hawaii's fantastic. The energy there, the aloha vibes, absolutely. And don't complain about the high prices of avocado. That's because the white man came in and ruined it. We did that. But either way, with that aside, it's a beautiful place, and the people are nice. He loves the way he looks now. He knows this will benefit him when this is over, and he begins auditioning for roles again. Justin is working through all of this and is very confident that in the end, justice will prevail. And I believe it'll prevail too. We'll see how that looks. As of right now, we are waiting for the judge's motion to dismiss. So while it does feel like a quiet time here with regard to Justin and Blake news, there will be a lot of information coming out very shortly. That is for sure. So whether that's today or tomorrow, I think it'll be tomorrow, but possibly Friday, we'll begin to get the judges responding to some of these motions to dismiss from Blake Lively and from Ryan Reynolds. Now, I don't think he's going to dismiss Blake Lively, but could he dismiss Ryan Reynolds? I also don't think so, but we will see. All right, coming up next, we'll get into the dramatic stuff. A judge, Speaker Johnson, says that Congress has the authority to stop providing funding to federal judges. Oh boy, that's great. We'll have that story next. Well, this clip was, I guess, retweeted by Elon Musk. We have what's called checks and balances, which keeps one branch of the government from taking over too much power. But now they're saying, well, what if we just stopped paying the judges? How would that work out?
getting pretty ugly. House Speaker Mike Johnson issuing an open threat now, saying that Congress has authority to stop providing funding to federal courts. Listen to what the Speaker said just a little while ago.
We do have authority over the federal courts, as you know. We can eliminate an entire district court. We have power funding over the courts and all these other things. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and Congress is going to act. So stay tuned for that.
Desperate times do not call for desecrating the Constitution. And again, the judges have been the levees that have kept the floodwaters at bay. The judges have been the only thing really stopping some of these executive orders. The judges right now have stopped a ban of trans people from the military. They have stopped some of the Doge cutting in federal, the USAID in some aspects, some of the firings that took place without the proper process. So look, it's not like it's like, look, you got to do your job, sure, but do your job in the scope of what's legal. And if something's not legal, these judges are going to hold it up. And now we're seeing the executive branch saying, well, these judges are biased, they're political appointees and blah, blah, blah. Listen, they're judges. We stand by what they say. If you don't like it, that's what the appeals process is for, right?
All right, Jay, let's get right to it. This is all centered around the Alien Enemies Act and whether deportations fall under the president's Article 2 powers. So what's the reaction in Congress now to what the speaker just said today?
Well, there are Republicans up here on the Hill, Kira, who want Johnson, frankly, to go further and support impeaching judges who politically have shown that they, or not politically rather, but legally show that they disagree with the administration. The accusation from the administration is that these judges are acting politically, but these judges and other judges all the way up to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court have said that these judges are acting within their constitutionally appropriate powers.
They're doing their job. You know what this is like? This is like arguing balls and strikes with an umpire. And then when you strike somebody out and your team does well, then you love the umpire. Oh, that umpire is great. They called a ball and a strike. And then when when you get struck out, oh, that umpire sucks. We don't like them. That umpire receives money from the Democratic Party or whatever, right? So it's just ridiculous, and we're spent with it. Well, here is a mellow Donald Trump responding. This was shared by the Tennessee Holler on Instagram, responding to Hegseth Gate. This is his Secretary of Defense accidentally revealing war plans moments before a terrorist bombing a terrorist group.
With that piece of it, out of a country of over 300 million people, how is it that Jeffrey Goldberg, who hates you, ends up on this Signal chat? Isn't that bizarre?
It is bizarre. And he's a sleazebag, but at the highest level.
Yeah.
His magazine is failing. It's going to be out of business soon, in my opinion. It's bad. It's too bad we give it a little boost like this. But somebody in my group either screwed up or it's a bad signal. It's a bad signal, happens to. But, and there weren't details, and there was nothing in there that compromised. And it had no impact on the attack, which was very successful. It was a very, very successful attack. Then it's an attack that Biden should have done 3 years ago, but he didn't do it because it would have been a lot easier 3 years ago.
And as we saw in our video earlier today, Hegseth and others discussed that one of the strategies when talking about this attack is to blame Biden. So when you see the blueprints, you see it then being executed. In the leaked text messages from this group chat, which a reporter from the editor of The Atlantic was included in accidentally, they said, all right, no one knows who the Houthis are, so let's blame Biden for this attack. Whether it's right or not, I mean, it's just interesting to see the blueprint play out here. Now we've got Dave Portnoy, founder and CEO of Barstool Sports, a Trump supporter, offering criticism. I mean, look, again, when it comes to calling balls and strikes, I really appreciate when someone who is an otherwise supporter of the Trump movement, I appreciate it when they are not a sycophant and when they actually share a critical thought.
We've all texted the wrong person. We've all emailed the wrong person. We've all had somebody who shouldn't be in a group chat in our lives.
All the time.
We are not the Secretary of Defense. We're not the National Security Advisor. We're not the Vice President of the United States. So, yeah, mistakes happen. This one can't. Here's my biggest issue with this, and this is in politics in general. The reaction of like Pete Hegseth and President Trump has been to kind of poo-poo it. Be like, there was no classified information in there. Trump's like, you know, how did Jeffrey Goldberg get in there? Like, did he hack it? Did he get in there? He didn't stay very long. The Atlantic is a horrible organization and a terrible magazine, which they are, and I hate them. And by the way, if Jeffrey Goldberg, he didn't hack it, he got added, but if he did hack it, that's almost more dangerous than somebody like Jeffrey Goldberg. If he can hack the most sensitive group chats, what are our enemies doing? Trump, I get being loyal to your people. I don't like firing people on innocent mistakes that they make, but this, and I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, you're mad about this, but we had a president like Biden with dementia who had the nuclear codes. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. That wasn't right then, and this isn't right now.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, right, is not playing whataboutism. I received comments from someone saying, what about the withdrawal from Afghanistan? What about this? What about that? We call that whataboutism. Why don't we deal with what's happening to our country today, which is floating the ideas of getting rid of judges, floating the ideas of shipping off American citizens to foreign prisons who we deem terrorists, and hey, if they have the wrong tattoo on their neck, then they're all of a sudden losing due process. Where's the defending of the Constitution? Where's the defending of due process? And yes, we have due process for illegal immigrants. They still deserve an immigration judge to make sure we're doing the right thing and not just rounding people up, putting them in detention facilities, which is really no different than some of the atrocities we've seen in the past. This is all playing out right now. And if we're going to call balls and strikes, let's be fair. Let's be fair. And it's good to see David Portnoy doing just that. All right. We'll be back in the morning. If you didn't catch my earlier video, just so you know, if you're here because you follow Justin Baldoni stuff and didn't catch my earlier video, not every piece of content I make gets sent to you. It really is a delicate algorithm of calculations, click-through rates. Did you like a thumbnail? Did you not? So I'm here to tell you, if you didn't catch my chat about the group chat, I got about a 20-minute video. I think it's pretty interesting, if you ask me, hearing from all sides of the political aisle discussing how big of an issue this actually is. So go check that out on YouTube if you haven't already. All right, I'll be back in the morning. Have a good one, folks. I'm Dave Neal. This is The Rush.